Hi, Marilyn.
They said stay muted. I better stay muted, huh?
There you are. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
How are you doing? Oh, doing okay.
Good.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Very nice.
Good.
How about you?
Yeah, it was nice. Got to see the grandkids and our son and our daughter-in-law.
Do they live in town?
Yeah, about 5 miles away.
Oh, very nice.
So it's nice. We get to see them, and because their mother works and their father works all day, every day, they have their online school sessions here with us
Oh,
twice
how
a week.
nice.
So we have them 2 days a week, which is really
Oh, so
nice.
you're in the same box with them, yeah.
Yep,
Well, I see my two daughters all the time also. So,
that's great.
I mean, they take me to appointments, so
Mm-hmm.
I was with them even on Friday. They had one took me back. So
That's good.
and we sat far apart. We were very safe. So who's doing the Havdalah tonight, Rabbi?
Me. Rabbi
Oh,
Barbara
hi,
was supposed-
Rachel.
Rabbi,
Hello,
Ra-
Rabbi Barbara was supposed to be back. She was supposed to fly back yesterday and do this tonight, but something happened. I don't know exactly what. So her plane is, let me get this up here for my neck. So her plane was changed to today. So I'm doing the story and Havdalah. And I did the service last night. Poor the other Rachel. Oh my, she does Zoom things with 500 people, and she was feeling so bad because there was problems with people getting on, and then there were some problems with the slides. And I said that may have been my fault because I got them as a PDF, and it's like I like a book, and I'm not gonna. In fact, I got a Zoom photo. It was just like in my email from David Fischel, who I didn't even know it was on, because usually I check to see who all is on, but I didn't want to, Shabbat, I don't mess with the computer. And last night reminded me of why I don't mess with the computer on Shabbat.
so Rabbi, who's going to run the slideshow for the services?
Usually, well, she did that. So she had a double job, but Rabbi Barbara usually, I guess, turns the slides herself.
But who's doing it tonight?
So, and Rachel volunteered so the person who had been doing it in her place could have the Thanksgiving weekend off rather than being there. So she had to set everything up and get it. And I guess there was some problem with the link or with whatever. It's like, and I said to her,
What are you doing tonight?
not a performance,
Is this a Havdalah service tonight?
Tonight is Havdalah. Tonight Havdalah is, we tell a story. All right, there's a story which I'm going to tell, and then we do Havdalah together. So that's what Saturday night is. And then sometimes once, because I don't know if Dennis will be able to put it on Facebook, then when we take it off from Facebook, we kind of schmooze for a little bit.
It is on, we are live on Facebook now.
We are live on
Yep,
Facebook now.
we are
Oh,
live,
that's good.
yes. We're there.
Is this Facebook we're on?
Okay.
No, you're on with the computer
Oh,
unless you use Facebook to get on. I mean, you can
No,
get here either way.
I use Zoom. I
You
use
Zoom. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We're on with Zoom and we're on with Facebook. So anybody who goes to the temple website
Oh,
can get to us on
Stop it.
Facebook.
and you can be sure I'm never watching anything.
Oh,
that I've
hi.
done on Facebook again.
Hi.
You don't want to
I'm
see
Hello.
gonna stop it was to Fizz, who's being a pain right now.
Oh, okay.
Not Fizz.
Yeah, Fizz.
Is that Dar?
No, this is Emma.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
not
can't
my
tell from the
fault.
back. No scar, no,
No donut.
no collar,
Hi,
right?
Sylvia.
Hello,
I gave him a carrot, maybe that'll make him happy. Gotta turn the light on.
Where's brother?
mhm.
That's better.
Yes.
So I put mine up on a.
Rabbi, how are people going to see the words for the Havdalah songs?
I've got them, and once we decide that we get to the Havdalah part, I'm going to copy them and paste them into chat.
Okay,
I have Rabbi Barbara send them to me, so I didn't have to go type them all up myself since she already has them typed.
okay,
Yeah,
good.
because if you put them in the chat too soon, the people who
Yeah,
join later
yeah.
don't see
I
them.
figure I'll wait till we do that to that part, because by that point everybody should be on. I've got the email that has got it in open so that I would just disappear. I don't know actually if I would disappear, but because the camera is still there, but I'll go to my email and then put it on. So I was trying to think of as much as possible. There's Marilyn again. Okay.
I'm playing around with the lights because they all have different, here's with the lamp on, here's with it
It's
off.
supposed to be coming at you, not behind you, but I have no choice.
Well, this is in front of, I'll turn it around, but
It's good the way it is, Sylvia. Sylvia,
What?
you're good the way you are.
flattery will get you everywhere. I'll turn this towards me, and see if it's any better. Ah,
Elsie, only 8 days. I think it's more like 365 days.
Is that you, or is that for you, or is that for the dogs?
I got two of
I
them for
think
the
I'll
dogs.
leave
They're a
it
little big,
alone.
so I have to curl them under a little bit. But
No,
I got one for myself, but it's a mask.
Oh, neat.
I'll get that. I'll show you.
I'm sorry, we did not get 8 days worth of presents. I think I wrote about it. Well, I got to listen to my mother complain about how lucky we were because she got an orange and a quarter, and Hanukkah wasn't any big deal. And then by the time we were teenagers, we never really did much with presents. One year, actually, my dad was already kind of failing. I had decided over the years that I was going to buy, if I wanted Hanukkah presents, I bought my own. So I got some things and I wrapped them up and I put them, oh, cute.
Really cute.
And I, put them by them. And my dad said to me, how come you're the only one who got presents? I said, if you want to get presents, you can buy as many presents for yourself as you want, because that's what I did. They were all mine. I would get things during the month. Oh, wait, I'll put this aside. Well, one year, actually, I saw this beautiful book of Laurel Birch designs and drawings and stuff. And I said, well, I'm going to buy that for myself for Hanukkah. And it was a couple weeks before. And I said, it's not going to seem special if I just take it home. So I actually took it home and gift wrapped it. I usually haven't gone that far the last few years. And then that was my present to myself,
Hi, Roz.
I guess I'm really prepared
Hi,
for, I'm really prepared for, like, I've done pandemic type things over the years. So not a problem. All right, let's give it, my thing says 7. Let's give it one more minute to see if anybody else pops in.
This is not the easiest program to get on. I've been fooling around with it for about 10 minutes till I got on.
I didn't
mine
have a
just
problem
goes right
tonight.
through.
I did last night, but that was different.
Last night was a problem.
Tonight I went back to what I got on last night, so.
Yeah.
wasn't
I didn't
so
have a
bad.
problem at all. It just came right on.
Right. Yeah, now, last night there was something I have.
Well, I have to tell you, my computer does not like me. It won't listen to me.
You sound like my mom. That's what she always said. The machines don't like me. It's like, Mom, but you're messing. Just get your hand off the mouse. You're moving the mouse. You don't even realize you're moving the mouse. So that's how you're clicking on something without realizing it.
My hands are free. I'm not on it.
Hands are free. Yeah. Well, I have a tendency to grab it too much.
Right.
So sometimes I have to
Yeah.
massage my hand afterwards. It's like, it doesn't take that much effort.
If I have my hand on the mouse, I do tend to move it slightly. And it'll
Right,
throw
yeah.
me off. So I take my hands off. I sit on my hands. I don't do it.
Okay, it says 7:02, so I think we're going to get started.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Most of you know Rabbi Barbara was originally supposed to be doing this, but her plane flight was changed. So I am Rabbi Rachel, and I am doing Havdalah tonight. And it's a pleasure to be able to do a story, because one of the things I do in my chaplaincy job is called something with Reading with Rabbi Rachel, except we're going to be telling it tonight. This is a story about a married couple called Alice is coming on. Let's give her a second there.
She probably won't show her face
Right,
until we're on
okay,
Facebook.
So it looks like she's there. This is a story of Esther and Hanina. Hanina was a Talmudic rabbi, very wise person, but very impractical. So in ancient times, whatever, so this takes place in the past, just so we have that reference. Esther had gone to the market that day, and it had just been terrible. She was preparing for Shabbat, and she was getting her challah ready, and she was really pounding that challah because she was so aggravated. Why? She gone when she was in the market. She saw that the price of chickens had gone up so much that she couldn't afford them. And then she had eggs in her basket, and somebody jostled her and the eggs fell out and broke. And then on her way home, the heel of her shoe broke. So she, was pounding that challah and getting all her frustrations out. And by the time she had that in the oven and started to light the candles and set her beautiful table, she was calm and peaceful, and she lit the candles and said the blessing and took a deep breath and let out a great sigh because it was Shabbat. She was now peaceful and happy. And then she heard a most unpeaceful sound. Quack, 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 quack. She opened her eyes and looked around. Quack, 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 quack. What did you see in her house? Chickens. 2 chickens walking around the room, pecking at things and pulling at things. And she was trying to chase them, but they were going around the house. And finally, one of them actually pulled and knocked the kiddish cup and the candles and everything and left her with this great big mess. A half hour later, her husband Hanina comes home, and he comes into a house that looks perfectly beautiful and perfectly calm. The table is set again, the food is on, candles are there, everything is ready. And he says to Esther, Esther, did you notice that I left you something in the kitchen? And she said, something in the kitchen, dear? Really? You left me something? And he said, oh, Esther, you're so wonderful and you're so calm about everything. He said, this farmer stopped by on his way to market today, and he accidentally left 2 chickens. They sort of wandered away, and they were in our yard. And I'm sure that he will come back and he will pick them up in a couple of days.
Don't think such a way.
Well, a week goes by or so, and Esther, instead of taking out her aggravation on her Kala, is taking it out on building a chicken coop and chicken cages for in the house because there's no sign of them. Now, even though Hanina is the wise man studied, Esther knows a bit about Judaism herself, which is that you have to return all lost objects, okay? And anything from those lost objects is something that they don't belong to you either. So here were 2 chickens laying a whole bunch of eggs. And Esther said to her husband, Hanina, these eggs are going to go bad. I know we're not allowed to eat them, but it's very bad for us just to let them stay here and rot. So he said, don't worry, dear. I will take them into the market and I will do something with them. So he takes them into the market, and Esther waits to see. She's, still dealing with these 2 chickens who are walking around their house. And he comes back and she looks out and says, and Hanina said, look what I did. With the money I got from selling the eggs, I bought some more chickens and some chicken feed. Well, the farmer still doesn't come back, and weeks go by, and they take such good care of these chickens that there's more chickens and there's more eggs and there's more everything, and the house is just totally filled with poultry. And Esther's just about had it up to here. So after one kind of sleepless night, she talks to her husband. She wakes him up in the morning and says, look at this. She's pulling chicken feathers off the pillows that they have. She says to him, this can't go on forever. He says, you're right, dear. And then he picks up his slipper and looks in it carefully, and out pops a little baby chick. So the chickens have really taken over the whole house. He says, don't worry, I will take care of the chickens. So he packs them all up and he takes them to market. And Esther spends the morning with her broom going swack, swack, swack through the whole house, getting rid of every chicken feather, every piece of chicken. All opens the windows, the door to let all that air in. Suddenly she hears her husband coming home, and she peeks out the window and she sees that he has a rope in his hand, and she runs outside and her eyes follow that rope. And what does he have? 2 goats. Now, if anybody knows anything about goats, goats eat everything. So Esther is not really pleased, and she starts to say, Hanina, what have you? But before she can even finish, a man comes walking down, and Hanina says, it's the farmer. Hi, great, wonderful to see you. And the farmer says, oh yes, I'm here to get my chickens. And Hanina hands him the rope with the 2 goats. And the farmer says, no, I didn't have any goats. He hands the rope back to Hanina. I'm looking for my chickens. And Esther says, well, we took care of your chickens. Aren't you even going to say thank you? We did such a very good, this is what? Oh, well, thank you very much for taking care of my chickens. But what happened to my chickens? So Hanina starts to tell the story that they had the chickens started laying a lot of eggs, and they took them to market, and they bought more chicken feed, and that they had more chickens, and they had to build. And the poor farmer has no idea, what is going on at all. He looks so totally confused. And they keep trying to give him the rope with the goats, and he keeps handing it back and saying, what happened to my chickens? And finally, Esther pulls him a little bit aside and says, you know that my husband is a very holy man, and he can do special things. And he turned your chickens into goats. Now take the 2 goats and go home. And the poor man was so bewildered, he just said thank you, and he took the goats and went home. However, he remembered the kindness that they had done and how well they had taken care of his chickens, even though they turned them into goats. So when he would pass by to go to the market again, he would bring them a present. No chickens, mind you, but he would have some nice fresh goat's cheese that went really well with Hannah's challah. So that is our story tonight. There's a lot of variations actually of that story, but basically the same thing where they do it. A lot of them have it, I will admit to it, changing a little bit, because Esther, in the original stories that I read, Esther does not realize that she doesn't know all the laws, because no one would be teaching her, and she was hoping they could use the eggs or use the chickens, and of course her husband would keep saying no. But you think if she lived with someone long enough, she would have an idea about a lot of the Jewish laws. So by the way, for those of you who are interested, we did something, a Torah study about that law. There's 2 verses in the Bible that talk about lost objects, and there is a great big thick volume of the Talmud that explains how that actually works, because there's no finders, keepers, losers, weepers in Judaism, but there is a lot of ways of trying to figure out whether or not you can keep something you found, and whether or not there's signs, and whether or not it's ownerless. And it's a whole complicated thing, which is what this story gets built on a little bit, because they can't just say that if they don't own the chickens, then they can't own the eggs, which means they can't own the chicks that come from it. Okay, we are now going to move on to Havdalah. Let me get chat set up here, and I'm going to go get my, here we go. And back to Zoom again, and put this in chat. Whoops. Here we go. All right, so we've got the blessings in transliteration there. And I'm sorry, you can all sing loud at home, because there's no way to disguise my voice with this one unless you put me on mute.
It's not there yet.
It's not? Oh, there we go. Sorry. I put it in, but I didn't hit the enter. Okay. Oh, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen. And unlike Rabbi Barbara, my tradition has been you say the blessing and then you drink the wine right away. So I'm doing it, we'll do it my time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim. And I don't like to light my candle too far. Whoops. ahead of time. There we go. Die die da 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 die 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 da 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 die 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 da 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 die die da da die da 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 die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei me'orei ha'esh borei me'orei ha'esh. Die die da 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 die 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 da 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 die 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 da 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 die die da da die da 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 die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol ben or l'choshech ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet hanei ma'aseh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol. And now we can put our candles in there, and I invite you to unmute yourself so you can sing louder than me. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu, 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 Imhera B'Yameinu, Yahavah Aleinu. Mashiach David, Mashiach ben David, and Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Good week.
A week of peace, gladness, rain, enjoying our good week. A week of peace, gladness, rain, enjoying.
Shavua Tov, everyone. Thank you for
Shavua Tov. Back Rabbi Barbara.
Thank you.
Bye, Sandy.
I got back just in time to hear the story, so I did it through Facebook, and then I figured I'd come on for Havdalah.
It was a terrific story, Rachel. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. I love them. I admit I love the chicken sound effect. Beginning, that's one of my favorite things. Dennis, I think you can take us off Facebook if you
Okay.
everyone
I
have a
can-
good week, and then we can
I can
Just
do
talk.
that.